Hey y'all, it's time to turn your notifications back on because it's ULG De La Ray,
ULGK,
and ULGJ. Welcome back to the group chat.
Hey y'all. It's been a little bit. Okay, we do have a few topics to go over for our red flags and our green lights because I just feel like people been wilding a little bit lately and we need to get into it.
And so Tia and her husband, that's Real Housewives of Potomac?
Yes. Tia is a new wife this season. She's Nigerian and she's from London, I want to say.
Is this the one that has the weed company with her husband? That's the girl that got arrested.
No,
No.
that's Dr. Wendy.
That's Wendy. That's our soror. So Tia is a new wife. She is a realtor and she's married and she has like 3 kids, I want to say. She has 2 daughters and a son. They're like teenagers, and then the son, I want to say, is probably like maybe like 9, 10-ish, around there. So yeah, she's on the show. I can't remember what her husband does. He does have a like corporate job, but it seems to be like pretty flexible. Because it seems like she's very like, she keeps saying that she's like a princess from Nigeria in whatever, tribe she's in. She's a princess.
Like legit?
So she's, yeah. Yeah, so that's like a main part of her like storyline because apparently her dad like had a bunch of kids outside of the marriage. Like, since they were like royalty or whatever, they like shunned the I don't want to say bastard kids, So she's been connecting with the other kids because the dad has passed away now. So on the show, they like go back to her childhood home and walk through and everything like that. And she's with one of the sisters that she embraced. So she just kind of like was explaining how she felt bad because at first she was just like, going with everybody else and like being mean to them, and then, realized it wasn't right or whatever. And then the sister was talking about how she was like the first one to actually like embrace her and tell her that she was welcome and everything like that. But I wanted to bring her up because I just really love the dynamic that her and her husband have, because it seems like she like lives this like very hottie toddy life, and she goes and does her thing where she's like filming with the girls, and her husband basically like takes care of the kids. I don't want to say it like that, but like, he's the one like, watching them and dropping them off, picking them up type stuff. But he also does have a job. Let me just put that out there. It seems to be a good job. I just can't remember what the job is.
So he's the primary caregiver and has a full-time job?
Yes. That's the premise. She's the Nigerian princess, isn't it? That like is real bougie. And she's got these kids and his husband, and they live in this nice house. She's a realtor, even though they don't show her selling no houses on the show. That is one of her accolades. And it's like they live a nice house, and it seems like she is like living the good life to me from what I can see. We don't know these people, but she seems like she comes home, like she doesn't do like the dishes and cooking. It doesn't seem like she's a part of that. I think the husband takes care of that, or they order food.
Is the husband Black?
Yes.
We love that. I saw this video the other day, and it was this wife and husband talking about their dynamic. And he was like, I would never let my wife wash the clothes. I would never let my wife do the dishes. Like, can she do them? Of course she can. But like, is that her responsibility? Absolutely not. And I was like, okay, where are more niggas like you?
And
Where
this
can we
is
find
why
them?
I put them on the list, because I'm trying to find his relatives. Where are they in Potomac? Are they Upper East Side? Is that where I need to be?
Drop us a fucking DM, okay?
Okay, honey. Because he just seems so very like, I'm here, but she's the show. Like, whatever she needs me to do, I'm going to do it.
And that is just so beautiful. And I feel like it kind of segues into the conversation I wanted to have around, what's that boy's name? A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Your literal doppelganger.
My
Or I
God.
guess you're her doppelganger because she's probably older than us. But he was being interviewed about their relationship. And he was like, a good woman will literally change your life. And I'll get to that part of the conversation in a minute. But as it relates to what you just said about Tia and her husband, He said something in that video about like women truly are the superior of the sexes. And it's like if we would just give more women the opportunity to truly lean into their femininity, what they could do, what they could accomplish, and not just them as individuals, but in partnership with men who support them in that way. Like, let me be the entree and you're the appetizer, you're the dessert, you are the sides. Let that be the dynamic and we all flourish from that. And I was like, that's just so obviously those were not his words verbatim, but
Okay. I was about to say you had some sauce on that.
but I was like, yes, that is
ASAP
so
is not eloquent
I
at
don't think
all,
he's a
honey.
poet.
I think the
No.
thing that sticks out the most is like the men who are supportive because there's just still way too many men who feel emasculated, who feel small, and they don't necessarily know that like it's okay, like just chill. And I don't know if y'all have ever, because I grew up with a lot of male friends. I have a male best friend, and one thing that like men always say is like we suck. Like I've never really heard them like talk about their species in a positive light, like, oh yeah, like people just like, oh yeah, well, men suck. They're like, yeah, we do. Like I've heard that all my life. So it's okay to take a back seat because I mean, women tend to like flourish when they are loved properly. And then,
Everyone benefits.
thank you.
That's it and that's all. And that reminds me of that video that was going around Instagram where somebody was interviewing women and men on the street. And it was like to all the men, they were like, would you go live on a planet that was just men? And all the dudes were like, fuck no.
Hell no.
Hell no. But then when they asked the women, like, would you go live on a planet that was all women? They're like, well, fuck yeah. Like, of course. In a heartbeat. Like, does that exist?
Where's the ULG planet? Okay. Can we migrate?
Literally.
Yo.
I think that is the reason why I was so drawn to their relationship because they just seem so content with their, I don't want to say routine, but like how they have their life set up. And you can just tell that he supports her and that they actually like communicate. It's not just like, I'm going to say how I feel, you listen, or vice versa, things like that. Because I don't know, I just feel like I get a different vibe from Angel and her husband because it does seem like her husband is supportive of her. It just seems like a totally different dynamic.
Who's Angel?
She's another new wife
Oh.
on the show. Sorry, I forgot.
Got it.
She's another new wife on the show, but she's like the one that's in the most of the drama right now because they're like bullying her or whatever. But her husband used to play in the NFL and he's like in the scenes on the show and stuff. Now Tia's husband's not in the show a lot. Like when they film her at home, he shows up, but that's usually because he's coming in with the kids or she's leaving and he's with the kids. But I don't usually see him anywhere else.
And I think last episode we talked a lot about just like communicating, but to the point that both of y'all just made, also major green light is having a man that is supportive. But in order to have someone that's supportive, I feel like that person has to be so confident in themselves.
And
I think
secure.
that
Thank you. I think that's what I was looking for.
that's where a lot of men are lacking because they're not, whether they want to admit it, and they don't have to admit it. We can see it, you know? But when you're not confident, that shows in your actions. And like for a man to like be jealous of the attention that his wife is getting, like some chicks be out here really dating their biggest op. Ooh, and
No,
that's
for real.
sad.
And why would you want to be with someone who's not lit? Like the fuck?
Why do you take offense, right, to having a bitch that's on her shit and people acknowledge her for being on her shit? That's crazy.
Yeah, and it seems like to me like they don't allow people to get into their heads about like the roles that they play because I mean like we also talked about last week like there is no one set of rules for women to follow, for men to follow, for like relationships to work and to thrive. And it's like we talked about Cardi B, but it's like she's doing what she feels like works for her. And even though a lot of those behaviors are harmful, it seems like they're also doing what works for them because I'm pretty sure he's heard like, oh, you be washing the dishes, da, da, da. Like, so it seems like they just don't allow people to like seep into their foundation that they've created because they know what works and they're sticking to it, which I like that.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
But Jay, I know you said that was one thing that reminded you about ASAP, but what else did you want to say?
So in that video too, he was like, the right woman, and this also perfect transition, the right woman will completely change your life. And he gave the example of like, the right woman will tell you because she's so in tune with just people in general and energy, because as women, we are more attuned to those things. Not to say that men aren't, it's just I think it comes more natural to us probably than men. But he was like, she'll tell me, like, that's not your friend.
Ooh,
That one right there, that is your friend. But that guy over there, not your friend.
that person at work don't got your back.
And I don't know how many times I tried to tell my ex when he would tell me about things. I'm like, I don't think that's your friend. From where I sit in understanding like dynamics of what a healthy friendship looks like, that ain't it. That's not it. Because your friend is not going to put you in compromising situations. Your friend is not going to gas you up all day and not hold you accountable. Your friend is not going to sit there and make fun of you because you want to go home and quote unquote lay up with your wife. Like, those people who treat you that way, not your friends.
They're gonna
Anywho,
sabotage you.
it,
The list goes on and on.
because some of y'all niggas be out here with your homeboys, and your homeboys are your biggest op. Like, they see all the things that you have going on in your life. They see the women that you put on a pedestal in your life, and because they can't experience the same thing, then yeah, they're going to try to get you to fuck up, and niggas be falling for it every time. But in addition to that, the interviewer was like, yeah, had you told me back in 2012 that like this is the ASAP that would be sitting in front of me here today, I would have never guessed it. And he was like, yeah, me either.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Because I definitely, you know what? This is what we say when we say women make y'all better.
Mm.
Okay, just like we said, Cardi B was famous before she met Offset. Rihanna is doing A$AP Rocky a service. She is doing him a service. I got reminded about the crazy shit that nigga was saying.
Listen, I ain't never forgot. You know me. I'm a Taurus for real. We don't forget.
Wait, now y'all know I don't be knowing shit. What was A$AP Rocky like in the past?
He said black women, dark skinned women who wear red lipstick look like monkeys, or he was saying that it was basically saying that it was unflattering, but his comments were just ugly. But they were just
what?
Yeah, so I was just like, what is this?
There was also a point where this nigga was in jail, or like right before he went to jail. Some protesting was going on. I don't remember exactly which one it was. He was on some like, that don't pertain to me. Black Lives Matter stuff don't really pertain to me. I ain't got nothing to do with that type shit. You know, like the shit Lil Wayne be saying.
Yeah.
He be on shit like that.
Now
Like
that you
I'm
say
too rich
that,
to care.
I feel like that's kind of ringing a bell. Okay.
Yeah.
But am I the only person who gets him and Travis Scott confused? Because I do feel like they favor. Or is it just the braids?
They do, but I was just very familiar with both of them before, to where I just don't.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Because it's like, we can't really, I'm going to let some shit slide, you know, but we ain't forget. The only reason you really relevant right now is because of Rihanna. Probably the only reason you beat that case is because of Rihanna using her fucking lawyers and shit, probably.
It wasn't
Period. Yeah. So the interviewer was like, yeah, had you told me in 2012 that this would be the ASAP sitting in front of me, like, I wouldn't have believed it. And he was like, yeah, and I'm so grateful that she didn't come into my life in this capacity until the time that she came into my life, because I would not have been ready for her. And I was like, see, that right there, I love that. The fact that you are able to acknowledge that you weren't shit, and that you, even still to this day, even though you're probably a better man than you were back in 2012, you still don't deserve Rihanna. None of us deserve Rihanna. But the fact that you're able and willing to admit that on a public platform, I feel like that's a green light for me. However,
maybe she done taught him a little something. I don't know.
Right, say Rihanna was a hood rat too. Some Twitter days, I remember that.
now, I will say I'm going to have to give Rihanna a yellow. And honestly, it's like yellow approaching red for not having a prenup with this nigga. Because, ma'am, I know he's famous in his own right, but he ain't Riri famous. So
the fact that this nigga stayed in jail.
How many times has he been?
First of all, he came out with that one song, and the music video was just clips of her going to the jailhouse and bailing him out. It was
Wait,
like
what?
over and over.
no, stop.
She was just showing up in different outfits, bailing him out of jail.
Miranda.
Y'all never seen that video?
No.
Yes, y'all. Yes. I'm finna figure out which song it is so y'all can watch it later. But like, yeah, that nigga was reckless as fuck.
What the hell?
No, he was in kind of like the New York version of Odd Future, basically. That's what A$AP Mob is. Like hood, unhinged niggas versus like weird, quirky black boy mob, basically. Does that make sense?
It does.
I know who Odd Future is.
No.
But everything you said after that makes sense.
Oh. Yeah. A$AP Mob is like the New York hood version
Good version of that.
Okay.
That makes
so
sense.
them niggas was out wilding and shit,
Got
beating
it.
niggas up and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all was looking, I was like, "They don't know who our future is."
No, I mean, I knew who ASAP Mob was, but I was looking up how many times has ASAP Rocky been to jail, so that's why my
I'm
was a little
fucking
furrowed.
That is wild. So yeah, that is my green light and potentially red flag. But however, they have been together for a hot minute, right? And we've got 2 kids now. Not to
3.
say that means that they're gonna
3.
3?
Yeah, they got a girl, 2 boys.
Yeah, they got a girl now. She just had a girl.
Damn,
Riot Rose.
her name's Riot?
Wait,
The
right,
yeah. No, I think Riot's
the
the
boy.
boy.
Yes.
Either
What's
way, I like
I
that
think
name.
her name's Royal, maybe.
Hold on.
No?
Riot is super cute. That's like Tiana Taylor's
Oh,
kids.
her name is Rocky. Rocky Irish Mayors.
I love that. Okay.
And yes, the music video is called DMB, That's My Bitch.
Oh yeah, because he had another song where he was constantly calling her a bitch, just like the new
Well,
one that he dropped, right? Didn't he just have another song, or did I see something that did I watch
he just
that?
dropped the whole album, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Well, he has a new song. Well, okay, so you said the one of her bailing him out of jail. That's old.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
it
okay,
came
okay.
out like
Yeah,
3 years
the
ago.
new song where he's still referring to her as a bitch nonstop is called "Don't Be Dumb." That's from the new album because people were talking about that, and I was like, wait, is that the same? It's not. It's another song.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Have y'all seen those pictures of them on that, like, terrace way? Like, where they have the fire, escapes in New York? She has that big pink fur on.
The pregnancy reveal? Oh, no, no, no.
Or the picture of them with their grills and his says, "Marry me," and her says, "Yes."
Yes, I have
It's
seen
from that
Oh,
video.
no, I haven't seen that. Why is he calling her a bitch though in this most recent? Is he using it like as a term of endearment?
Yeah,
Which I don't think
Yeah.
men can do.
but
Okay.
people say she likes it, so,
Okay.
that's if she likes it, she likes it, so
But like you said, she is wretched, so.
yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, not having a prenup, girl,
Oof.
dick must be good, 'cause ain't no way.
Don't we talk about this, though? Is there one that is that good? Because
I mean, listen, nothing is good enough to
I
make
think
me fuck up my bag. Nothing. Nothing and no one. Okay? That is
that's not
something
even
I
a
will
phone.
I
That's
will
a
never play about. Never play about my money. Right. And I'm not even making nowhere close to what she's making, but no. No.
I think having kids changes your body chemistry, your brain, and sometimes you lose the cells you need to think clearly. And once she done perform with them babies and everything else, she might just not be all the way there. That's why the dick might be taking over and making the decisions.
You know who ain't lost them marbles? Miss Candy Burris.
Okay,
I'm always
period.
take my bag.
Do y'all want to get into that? Because we can get into that.
Let's
Get
dive right
fucking
in.
into it because I stopped watching Housewives. I can't remember for Atlanta a long time ago. But when Drew came back, we put on episodes and I was like, you know what? I need to run this back because Atlanta really is the shit. But I saw this clip with Todd and Candy going back and forth, trying to get their lawyers on the phone to talk about this prenup. And essentially Todd was saying like, I mean, it's fucked up because like if we don't work out, I got to be out of the house in 30 days. Candy was like, yeah, nigga.
I had binged Atlanta during COVID, but
Mhm,
I didn't watch the wedding specials and shit.
mhm.
That was during the wedding special, which was literally like days before their wedding, not like
I
they're
think the
planning the wedding. Like,
I think the clip that I watched was literally them sitting in their venue with like, I mean, it was decorated and all the shit. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? And then he's like,
she
if
was
we get
not playing
divorced,
dead.
I just get nothing. No, you get what belongs to you, nigga, and I keep and get what belongs to me. What are we talking about? But
Well,
considering where we're at now, was he just after Candy for her money?
I think he plotted on her ass. He was a producer on the show when they met.
Mm-hmm.
He already knew what was up.
Do you
But
think
I think he's stupid for trying to fucking challenge that prenup. Like we didn't all watch his ass sign it, and she purposely recorded the shit because she already knew how niggas work.
And that's my question. Do we think that if a female like Candy and a female like Riri, if they're requesting prenups, if they're not, in Candy's situation, did she marry Todd knowing that he was exhibiting some red flags? And she's like, well, I'm going to give it a shot because I want to be married. But at the very least, we're going to have a prenup so I protect myself regardless of what happens. And then in Rihanna's case, is she like, oh, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, and we don't need a prenup. There are no red flags.
I'm gonna say Candy was gonna make somebody sign that motherfucker regardless. I don't care
Got
who
it.
the fuck you are. We not
Okay.
walk across this fucking thing till whoever signed it on camera. I don't want to hear no shit. Rihanna, I don't know what the culture is in Barbados. Everybody think I'm from the islands. I don't know what the hell they be doing down there. But I know certain cultures, they're very like heavy on like all my kids need to have the same dad type shit. So I just feel
Very
like it
traditional.
has something to do with that and something with like, well, he has my kids. Like, there's no reason for me to, or I've had his kids. There's no reason for me not to, go ahead and just go with whatever. I'm committed to it, so I might as well go full force.
I can see that. She just seems very traditional. And it's kind of unexpected. I guess just this is just seeing her in a different role because I mean, we've only really known her as good girl gone bad and then bad girl Riri. So seeing her as a lover girl is just totally different. Like we never thought she would have this type of traditionalism in her based on how, I don't want to say how she's like dog niggas, but I mean, kind of, you know what I mean? She's dated, a lot of people and stuff. So I don't know. I guess to me, it's still really unfolding just a little bit.
I think she had her fun. She used all that prime time to get her prime time in. You feel me? Because I think before she got with ASAP for real, she was with like some billionaire Middle Eastern guy. Yeah, I think they were close to getting engaged too. So I think she was just like, I'm gonna wait till I'm real set up to where all my shit's finna drop, my Fenty beauty, my skin, the lingerie. I'm not gonna have to do no music because that money's gonna have to be coming in. I can go ahead and have these babies real quick while I still got a little, energy. By the time I pop them out, I'll still have energy. Do one more tour, give me a little some change back in my pocket before I retire. And it's like at this point, I gotta choose a nigga. And once I choose him, we going all in. And I think ASAP just been waiting. He was in jail for a while, but I think he been waiting for her to be like,
That's the perfect place to wait.
And that's what he also said in that interview was that his mom, like anytime he would bring a girl home, his mom would be. So I guess him and Rihanna like had a history prior to them being in a
yeah.
relationship. Y'all know I don't be knowing shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Killer.
I'm sorry.
But his mom, he said every time he would bring a girl home, his mom would be like, "Now I know you like this one, but I really want you to be with Riri." And he would always tell his mom, like, "Mom, she ain't studying me like that. Like, she just likes me as a friend, blah, 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 blah." So yeah, I think, yes, he struck while the iron was hot. And here we are, 3 babies later. Golly.
Hell, mama secured the bag too. Like, if you gonna pick one, pick the billionaire.
Girl, yeah. I done read the credentials. Ain't nobody beating this for real. And Beyonce taking. So what we gonna do?
Good taking. Beyonce ain't never leaving that man.
Ever.
Oh no. Even off the principle. I can't let bitches know I'm leaving my nigga.
For real. At
You
this
sound like
point.
a Boondocks character.
I'm dead. Oh Lord, I don't know. It's just when I change my voice.
He said, I don't know.
Hilarious.
Oh shit.
Christy and Desmond Scott.
We don't really have to talk about them too much. They got a lot going on. They're some beige TikTok and reel making couple, and she used to just make like weird, funny videos and like prank him and or do something silly, and he has this like really high pitched, obnoxious laugh that he would do that would kind of like make you laugh even more when he laughed.
I
And
saw a
then he's a
TikTok
chef.
where somebody was like, I'm auditioning for Christy. And he's like, like,
Yeah, literally.
so funny.
But he's a chef. So usually whenever she fuck with him, he be in the kitchen cooking. Or she had like this one series where she was like getting stuff that looked like cakes, where that was cake but looked like real other stuff. So he would think that she's like eating raw chicken, but it was like cake. Just different stuff like that. But they're like pretty like famous on social media. They've been together for like 14 years since they were in high school.
Damn.
They're Jehovah Witnesses. They have
Interesting.
2 kids, I want to say 2 or 3. I want to say 2. Little boys. And yeah, so she's like best friends with her, the singer. But yeah, it came out that she filed for divorce because he was cheating. Then he put out a statement and was like, this happened at like, I want to say maybe a week or 2 ago. So like right when the new year started. And he put out a statement basically saying that he asked her for a divorce in December, but they tried to work on things and then he made a mistake. So that's why she filed for divorce. And
Made a
then,
choice, sir.
so then a couple days ago, TMZ posted a video of him at some like lounge place, like making out with some girl like hardcore in
Stop that.
public. Yeah. So after that, things kind of get a little fuzzy for me. That's why I kind of really don't even care to talk about them anymore. For real, because after that, it was coming out that the girl that he was kissing on, was transgender. She said that she didn't know that he was like married or that he was like famous on social media. She never seen his stuff on there, but claims that she met him after they separated, which was 2 days ago. So I'm confused on that. Then I seen a post saying that she was pregnant. So I really just don't know what's going on anymore. It's just light-skinned people business that I should not be into. For
Yeah.
right.
Light skin business.
And it's bright, honey. It's up there with Devin Booker and them. They both. So to wrap that up, they had this like long series going on their social media of them building like their dream house and getting it ready, because they were at one place and then they actually like left it and like built something from scratch, and they finally finished it. So then you know how people do that content of them like putting furniture up and setting stuff up. So they was doing all that shit. So everybody, when this shit dropped, everybody was like, who got the house? Y'all just finished the house. Who's getting the house? So like a couple days after the announcement, she posted pictures like on her island in the kitchen saying same address. That was the caption. I was like, okay, she kind of ate with that one. And then like a couple days after the video of him kissing that girl came out, he posted a reel of him like unpacking, like putting stuff up in like a kitchen in an apartment somewhere. Like, oh, it feels nice to be back in the kitchen, and thanks for all the support. I love you guys, and da da da.
Little
Like,
thing, his
not
little
an
kitchen,
unpacking video.
his little kitchenette.
Yeah, he was putting up, you got the serving spoons in the little cylinder and putting the cutting boards away. Like,
Bless
I'm
his
really
heart.
finna get back to cooking, y'all.
It's the only thing you
Yay!
can do at this
Yeah.
point.
You better cook, King.
Mm, well,
Then what really pissed me off is people kept like posting like, oh, she must have got on his nerves. Cause the whole premise of their content is her like,
mhm.
pranking him or doing silly shit. So they were like putting compilations of like times where he like rolled his eyes in videos and stuff. I'm like, y'all don't think they plan this shit out? Are y'all slow?
Slow.
Yeah,
But yeah.
most times people still accidentally go viral, like a lot, but not when you're well known. Like it's very
Mm-mm.
calculated.
Well,
That hyena laugh he do is not genuine every time.
I think that's why I never got into their content, because I gravitate towards, I mean, honestly, just you would think I'm on Vine in 2009, because I'm just like, if it's overly curated, I don't want to see it. Like, I'm glad that
Yeah.
it works for people, but it just always to me ends up like this. Like,
Mm.
people putting couples and people on pedestals, not realizing like they're human too. They have issues too. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like content like that. Like,
Yeah.
Do y'all know who Josh and Jenny are?
nope.
Mm.
It's like a little light skinned girl and her husband's real dark skin, but they got like two little girls. They're not curated at all. They do like little funny shit where they like dance and stuff, because the mom can't dance. She ain't got no rhythm, but the dad can dance, and the little girl can't dance. So it's just like, if some shit going on with them, now that's really gonna hurt my heart. But other than that, I don't really have no faith in nobody else, for real, for real. But I think we've gotten into enough tea for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and take us on down Lover's Lane.
What's our
'Cause
topic?
I
What's
think
our topic?
hyper independence versus submission. Now that's a good topic. Now I did tell my sister that was the topic for this week, and that's when she called us some old hoes. So I said, you just mad because
Wow.
we got good vocabulary. You gotta listen to the message.
Do we need a ULG glossary for that ass? Let me know.
Yeah, like please. Jay, you want to start us off? What you got to say?
Okay, yes. So last week when we spoke, I talked about Laterris Whitfield from the Dear Future Wifey podcast, and how him and his new wife were being interviewed by their therapist. And so during that interview, she also talked about, I know last week we dove into the price of femininity, but she also touched on the price of masculinity in that interview. What she was saying about the price of masculinity is that as women, we have to work on not making, and this goes back to something Kayla said at the very beginning of the podcast, not making men feel emasculated, which not sure how I feel about her take on that. So I'll be interested to hear you all's thoughts. But to summarize it, she said that men feel emasculated when women give them criticism. And that criticism is a result of us, saying that you should be doing better, or like, why didn't you do this, or da 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 da. And she was saying men know how they're supposed to show up. And so us drawing attention to the fact that they're not showing up that way is emasculating. And then she said, now she did not support this with any type of science, so don't take this as truth. But she said when that happens, men start to release more estrogen. And then as women, we wonder why.
They start acting like pussies, aka. So if y'all missed that, sorry, go ahead.
So then she said, as women, we wonder why, like once they get to that point, why we're not as attracted to them. And she's like, well, you're not attracted to them because they're not operating the way that they are built to operate because of the words that we as women use against them. And then we're not attracted to them because they are operating from an estrogen dominant place instead of a testosterone dominant place. And women who are not attracted to other women, yeah, you're not going to find your man attractive in that state because he's operating out of more estrogen than testosterone. Kayla's face, if y'all could see it.
Sorry, because I'm just like, I don't think we make them feel emasculated. And like just to clarify, like, I don't think it's not us. It's how they choose to show up and feel when they feel small. When we're just being ourselves and like we're flowing in femininity and things like that. Like, and my favorite quote, I love the movie Crazy Rich Asians. It's just such a good movie. But like when she finds out that like her husband is like cheating on her and she leaves him and stuff, and she was like, it's not my job to make you feel like a man. I can't make you something you're not. Ooh. And that's how I feel, because it's just like, I can't make you realize that my intentions are good. I'm not emasculating you. I am on your side. I'm on your team. I want you to see life from another perspective that, we both win, because, you know how and when to take a back seat when it's necessary. So, I mean, I don't know, because maybe this is auntie tapping in, I am not going out of my way to make a man feel like something he's not. Like, if you just don't get it, if you understand how the feminine operates and you can get in line with that, then we're good. But if not, then to me, I don't have anything for a man.
So me computing what you just gave to us. If you carry the 1, add the 2. She said that criticism emasculates the man, and I need to shut my ass up if I want some masculinity and testosterone in this bitch. And I just think that is absurd. Because why? Criticism? Hello?
We all get it.
What is wrong with criticism? Criticism is not a negative word. It's not. I didn't say I was going to berate the man.
Maybe
criticism
it's just referring to how you say it, but even if you do say it gently, a lot of men who choose to feel emasculated, you know what I mean? They'll take it as being berated when it's not even that, because there are women who do that. And I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with that, because nobody wants to be talked to crazy.
But that is like intentionally emasculating.
Right.
When someone berates you.
Right.
But she said the criticism, and then said, oh, I don't need you criticizing me, tell me what to do. I know what to do. I know how to show up as a man. Who? When? Where'd you learn it from? Because half y'all ain't got no daddy. So how, what do you... I'm not telling you how to be a man. I'm telling you how you could do some things better to be a better man, maybe.
Suggestions.
Yeah. But nobody's going to sit here and be like, you need to do this, this, and this to be a man. Because I promise you, if I had a child that was a male and I didn't have a partner, I would be finding some sort of male figure for that boy to have. Because no, I can't tell you how to be a man. But that don't mean I ain't got some fucking shit to say. That just really blew me, because one thing I can't do is shut my ass up. So if you don't want nobody to tell you about yourself, you might as well go ahead, because plenty of people done told me about myself. Sometimes you need it.
Exactly, and that's the thing, like, when you get criticism also, you made a good point. Criticism is not a bad word, it's not a negative word. Now, you can't trust it from everybody, sure, like, I'm not going to take criticism from someone who doesn't have their finances together, because you're not an example of where I wanna be with my finances, therefore, shut the fuck up. But when you're in partnership with someone now, if you're in partnership with someone and you guys we talked about this last episode, if you're not energetically aligned and they try to give you some criticism, then yes, that may be coming from a place that's not genuine. And that's something that you need to work on individually to figure out why you keep picking people who show up that way in romantic relationships. Now, we're speaking on people who are in the process of growing, want to continuously grow with someone else. I'm going to give you criticism, and I want the same in return because that shows me that you give a fuck about me and the type of person that I am. And I don't understand how people, men, whoever, misconstrue that. For someone who cares about you, they're going to give you criticism because they don't want to see you fail. They don't want to see you fuck up. They don't want to see you have to go to the school of hard knocks. So I don't get why it's so frowned upon to give criticism. And then also to what she said. So if us giving men criticism produces more estrogen in them, what is the remedy? I'll
For
wait.
their balls to drop? What the fuck are we talking about? This is fucking crazy. Who was this lady talking to? Can you remind me who's saying this? Because she made sense when she was talking about the cost of femininity. But this shit right here,
I don't know her last name. I do know that at the end of that podcast, she was saying that she's coming out with the podcast. Her first name, I think, is Love, actually. Now she did wrap up that entire segment by saying it takes both.
wait, but is this a random podcast or is this the therapist that was interviewing Lateris?
This is the therapist that was interviewing Lateris. She's coming out with her own podcast. She did wrap up that segment to say it takes both parties to meet each other, nurture each other. It can't just be the woman doing all of these things and the man not showing up at all, and vice versa. So she wrapped it up nicely, but like that one clip, I was like, I don't know if this really makes sense. And again, like I said, she didn't pull out any research or statistics to back that shit up. So I don't know if I don't know where she came up with what she said, but that's what she said. Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me because,
okay.
yeah, because I mean, that's why a lot of relationships fail. And like, it's a vicious cycle. So to me, she's just speaking on the cycle, an unhealed man, right? Like who feels emasculated because he receives criticism, even if it's laced with urgency from a woman who cares about him, it's not going to be received that way, which means that he is producing more estrogen, she's producing more testosterone, whatever. That is misalignment. That to me is that's it in a nutshell. It's just a vicious cycle until you break up and move the fuck on and learn from the lesson. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. So I guess I don't know. Well, I guess that does make sense. Like it's when she said it produces estrogen in them. That's where I was like, wait, what? But from what you just said, Kay, I feel like that makes sense. Like, so then women, we start showing up in our masculine, they start showing up in their feminine.
To me, it still sounds like the gist of it is for the woman to shut up. I don't know how I feel about that.
And see, that's my question. It's like, so if receiving criticism results in them feeling emasculated,
I gotta find a nigga that's perfect, basically. I gotta find a perfect nigga that
No.
I ain't got nothing to say about
No,
for
you
him
just
to
gotta
listen
find
to
one
me.
who can receive the criticism. And I think that's maybe like a little piece that's missing. Like, I
Okay,
don't think it's that for women
that's
to shut up, but like if a man can't receive what you have to say, it's all gonna come out like it's negative anyway. So like it's just gonna be a domino effect of like, oh well, we're not meant to be together, we're not aligned. Because if I can't say how I feel and and I've explained myself, I've yapped to you and you know that I'm on your side, you know that it's not coming from a negative place, you know that I'm not berating you or dogging you, and you still can't receive that, bye. Like to me it falls more on the man. She may not have said it like that, but like
she
if he
didn't.
can't, right. So if he can't receive it like that,
that's why I was confused. I'm like, hold on.
I mean, to me, I'm just kind of reading between the lines. It's not really, it sounds like it's on the woman, but like if it falls on deaf ears regardless, it doesn't matter how nice you say it.
But I think you reading between the
I'm
lines
just
is
saying.
important because for someone to just listen to that raw verbatim, that wasn't my takeaway. I wouldn't have connected the dots until you just said what you said. So like I think she should have included that in there.
It's just not correlating to me with what she said about the cost for femininity. It's not like matching up. that's why it's a little off to me,
Mm.
I guess.
Yeah, but I think what you said, Kayla, that made it make more sense
I tried.
Cause,
for sure.
'cause I feel like we're kinda discussing, like, what it requires to submit to someone.
Exactly. And then also, when we're thinking about a female submitting to a man, we have to feel that it's safe to do so. And
Mhm.
that's physically safe, psychologically safe, emotionally, financial. Like, we have to feel holistically safe to feel like we can submit. And to Kayla's point, if you're a man who's not going to receive what I'm giving you, knowing that my intention is not to hurt you, but to elevate you so that we can be elevated, then you're not going to get the submission that you're looking for. You're going to get the hyper independent female because you are not showing her that she can rely on you, regardless of how small it may be. It may seem small and minute to you, but men have to realize that we are wired so differently. And I think for the majority of us, stability is like the foundation of what we're looking for in a relationship. Because if we're not stable, if you can't show me stability, I'm always going to be on edge. I'm always going to be keeping my head on a swivel. I'm always going to feel like I have to carry my weight and your weight because you're not showing me that you can do it. And what, I'm just supposed to sit here and be like, oh, well, if he ain't got it, then we ain't got it, and like we'll figure it out. No, any female with common fucking sense, with a backbone, with standards, we're not doing that.
That reminds me of a book that I started, I need to finish. But it's
Mhm.
called, How to Not Marry a Jerk or something like that. And it's this, like, professor that he had like courses in college about like the psychological way people think about love and how they should approach dating to find their match or whatever. And you saying rely, for us to rely on you, that's what we need to submit. He talks about how there's like, I want to say there's 4 or 5 things that you need for like a healthy, good relationship. And I might be fucking this up because I started it last year and I haven't finished it. But you have to go in order too. So I think it's know, trust, rely. I want to say sex then commitment or commitment then sex. You're supposed to go through all those levels before you get to the next one. And it's like, when you think about it, because you can think about like different types of relationships, not all your relationships are going to have all those things. So it's like, before you have, I know sex is towards the end. Because it's like, for something to be healthy, you need to know that person. You need to be able to trust that person. You need to be able to rely on that person. You need to have some sort of commitment, then have sex with
Yes,
them.
that's
So
beautiful.
I think that was like a really good thing to point out, the fact that you said rely, because that's all we really want is someone to rely on, to someone that's dependable.
That's it. And like, obviously we have that in each other, but like, we want that in our romantic partners, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, and can I
Obviously we
just
have that in
say
our mother. Well, not all of us, but like, let me not say that. Let me not
another
generalize.
topic.
We have that in our friendships, in some of our familial relationships, but it's like, yes, we want to be able to rely on that person.
Yeah, I like that because I'm like, I don't necessarily like when people make that quote. It's like, oh, well, why don't you forgive your friend or, you forgive him? So, like, I think it's okay to acknowledge that, like, romantic relationships and friendships can coexist because obviously your partner is going to provide a totally different source of, like, a different type of love than your friends. And we want both. Like, of course, like, oh, if y'all could date y'all friends, y'all would. Probably. I'm
1000%.
I'm
unfortunately still
dead.
attracted to men. Can I rely on you? Dang.
I'm dead.
No, seriously. And I think too, like, we get in a place where we're hyper independent, but then we also get in a place where we're like trying to take on everything and be everything for everyone instead of ourselves. And it's like
Mhm.
we're hyper independent, not focused on ourselves, we're hyper independent for them. Does that make sense?
I think it's a trauma response.
Totally.
I think it's literally being in survivor mode. Because if I don't get it done, nobody else is going to get it done. I got to make sure this shit gets done at the end of the day. And that's why I feel like I don't really want to call it tests, but everybody has something that happens to where I might need your help. And if you drop the ball that one time I tried to ask you for help, why would I come back and ask you for help again when you fumbled the first time? I got shit to do. I got shit
Literally.
to do. I
Mm-hmm.
called you. I got a flat tire. Is there any way you can come help me? Do you know what I should do? Do you have AAA? You don't have no solutions? Call you back?
Oh,
Bet.
that's
Bet.
crazy.
Yeah. Stop asking me if I'm hungry. Stop coming up to me at the gas station, asking me for my number, not pumping my gas. Like, what are we talking about?
Literally. And then it's like where niggas don't fumble the ball on the first time is at work. Every day y'all
Period.
walk into that bitch, y'all ain't fumbling shit.
Not for the white
But
man.
you feel
I'm sorry.
say that again.
It is not for the white man. They not.
Literally. But then you come home and I'm disposable. What we got is disposable. If
Please.
men would simply put in the same effort they put in to keep their job and to keeping their woman, I don't think we'd be on this
They
podcast
put
right
in
now.
and if they don't put in the effort to keep a job, they not gonna put in the effort to keep you.
Hello.
Lord, I would hope we don't need to put that on a bumper sticker, but
saying, been
Or
there, done
something.
that, got the t-shirt, got the bumper. Yeah, bumper sticker. You know we like those.
damn. And then when we're having to overperform for ourselves and for them, then we don't have time, like we talked about last week, to be in our feminine energy. We don't have time to just hang out with our girlfriends. We don't have time to go get our nails done and go get a pedicure and like really enjoy ourselves. Even when we're
All that
resting,
testosterone.
we're not resting. Like our minds are going. We might be still, but we're coming up with a mental checklist of all the shit that we still have to do because we can't rely on our partners. And that really sucks.
And I'm not trying to be with somebody I can't rely on. So I can stress out and be anxious at my own damn house by myself.
Listen.
Thank you.
And so someone sent me a video earlier this week, and it was this older lady who was being interviewed, and it was two black women. The interviewer was asking her, like, when was your last relationship? And she said, oh, honey, she said, I recently filed for divorce. The interviewer was like, oh, okay, how long ago? And she was like, last January, girl, so it's been a year. And she was hyped. Like, you could see in the video, she was so hyped
She
to
definitely
say,
threw a party.
yeah. And the interviewer was like, well, what is it that you would be looking for in your next partner? She said, well, let's see, someone who has a job, has a little bit of motivation, and is confident. Let's just start there. And the interviewer was like, well, if you were to get in a relationship, like, wouldn't that be more beneficial for you financially? And the chick was like, yeah, but also I can do this shit by myself over here. I don't necessarily need you to show up financially. Now, if the only way that you can show up is financially, nigga, you better make sure you come correct. Okay. So she said she would want a dude to do 80-20 with him paying the 80 and her paying the 20. And to me, I'm like, that makes perfect sense. If you can't provide me with any of those other things we just talked about in terms of safety, if all you can provide is financial safety because as a man, that's all you have learned to value is how much money you make and the job that you have, nigga, come correct.
Period.
And we can let all that other shit slide. But what you're not going to do is come with 20 and none of those other things and expect me to pick up the extra. That's what we're not doing. And again, all we want is somebody that we can rely on. And like, I'm the type of person too, like in a relationship, I feel like it would be really hard for me to do 80-20 financially. And that's probably something I need to work on in therapy. I just feel like everything should be 50-50. But I see her point.
Come correct and keep it correct.
That's it.
Keep it correct. Maintain.
Right. Stay correct.
Stay correct. And don't introduce me to a vibe that you cannot maintain.
Hello. Don't be showing off. Because,
Listen.
nigga, that's the baseline.
Exactly.
I don't know if y'all knew that, but the first impression is the baseline, honey.
It is. And that's why we be chasing that high forever, trying to get it back.
Literally, Kayla. And it goes back to the whole analogy with their work. Y'all give y'all's best first impression when you show up for your first day on the job, when you show up for that interview, and then you keep putting on that same mask every single day because you got to keep a job. Not saying that you have to wear a mask, but like if you're going to show up as your best self. So then you don't have to wear a mask every day. And until then, just be single. Don't come around in our DMs. Don't be playing in our faces like, "Oh, I want this, I want that." Like it's cool to want something, but are you in a place to be able to receive it?
I also feel like there are people, because I'm not going to say it's just men, there are people that like they feed off people who are very independent. It's like they try to suck it out of them. It's like, I want to get this independent person who's got their shit together. And I don't know if it's like a like a I wanna show that I can win this trophy type of thing, or if it's like a I know I can get into that and just fuck it up because 'cause I'm a narcissist and I just wanna show the fact that I can disrupt this person. Because I
And I
feel
have
like there are people
control
like that.
in my life in other areas, so let me overcompensate by trying to suck the life out of this person and be a jackass. Mhm.
Mhm.
Also wonder if there are people, and maybe I'm being too nice, but I also wonder if there are people who are like attracted to hyper independent women because they're like, damn, I wish I was that. Now, do men think like that? Like, is that a conscious thought? Doubt it. But subconsciously, are they like, I wish I could be that independent. I wish I could be that efficient. So, like, it's like you are the sum total of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. I wonder if any of them think that when they get into relationships with women who are super independent. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really like that actually. I need to process that more, but I can see that fully. It's just like wanting that energy that you have.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it. And you know how it's like every person you meet is not by coincidence. And I truly believe that. And they say that the relationships that you're involved in, platonic or romantic, are mirrors. So it's like it's a mirror to either what you're lacking, a mirror to something that you still need to work through and heal, a mirror to show you, like, oh, I see that in that person. I also see that in myself. Like we're aligned there, It's all about what can I learn from this relationship. Again, I highly doubt men are thinking like that consciously, but like subconsciously, I could see it.
Makes sense.
I think it is a perfect balance because I don't think it's like a formula to what women need. Because I ain't gonna speak for me because like I said, I ain't no man. I don't think there's a formula for what we need to submit because I think we're all different. We all need different things, but I do think it is like a perfect balance. Like when those people be walking on a tightrope, like everything's got to be matched up perfectly for me to want to have to submit to somebody coming from a very hyper independent person. Because I definitely am hyper independent just based off of life traumas. You are going to have to literally show up and show out and knock all these boxes down for me to like take it there. I feel like once I find somebody I really would submit to, that's when I'm like, oh, I would probably marry this person.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like at one point I have thought about marriage, but I quickly got out of that thought because I knew I couldn't submit fully.
And also, we talked about this last week, and I think we talked about it a little bit earlier today, too. It's like, yes, we want to find a man that we can submit to, but we also want to find a man who can submit to us. And I think that's when we'll know. And not submit to us in a way like you just lay down and let us walk all over you, but like if I am more of a leader or if I have a skill that is a strength compared to where you're at with that skill and you willingly let me take the lead, that's all it's literally, we're just ping ponging back and forth,
Like Tia's husband.
Clearly he's great with the kids. Clearly he's great with the housework and she's great at making money. So like the balance. And to Tia's husband, I think also it just at the end of the day takes a man who has done a lot of work on himself, who is very secure in himself, who is very confident in himself to show up the way her husband does.
So I think the lover girl lesson for this week is I deserve love that doesn't require me to lose myself.
Amen.
Amen.
And amen.
Amen.
So, as we wrap up, I did want to let the listeners know that we are going to start our solo date journey. They can follow along with us, they can join us. I'm going to be sharing some of the prompts about like a solo date book for us all to indulge in, if you will. So, I do want to just give the listeners a couple of questions to think about. The first solo date is a journaling session just for you to set your intentions for the year and like how you want to show up for yourself. So I'm gonna read a couple questions. We don't have to answer them. I just want to put that out there for the listeners so they know. There are 4 different categories. So growth and development. Is there a habit or mindset that you feel ready to let go in order to make space for something new?
Because listen, last year was the year of the snake that runs through February 17th of this year when the Chinese New Year starts. and it's all about shedding what no longer serves you, whether that's people, places, habits, patterns, identities, whatever. Let that shit go. So come February 18th, we can ramp up with the year of the horse.
Okay. I mean, with the facts. The next category is new experiences. So, is there a place you've always wanted to visit, either locally or globally, that you plan to explore in the next year? So, let's think about those trips that we want to take, any destinations, landmarks, places, people we want to see. The next section is building friendships. Are there certain qualities you're looking for in new friends or people you want to surround yourself with?
And I feel like that's even like for people who are single and even want to be in relationships, like not focusing on, oh, I want someone who's 6'10" and is light skinned and has a mustache and all that other bullshit. Like, what characteristics do you want these people to embody? And starting with your friendships is going to be the way that you find your significant other. What type of people do you want to be around? Energetically align yourself and move in that direction, period.
Setting intentions, ladies and gentlemen. And then the last section is romantic relationships. Is there a pattern in relationships that you'd like to break or change moving forward? So a little self-reflection.
Always
Everybody.
important.
So I hope you guys try to go ahead and join us on this journey. Maybe we'll share some of our answers next time. If you guys are interested, let us know. And then yeah. I think the only other thing I really had for an update is fuck ice. What about y'all?
Forever and always.
Echo that.
Love yourself responsibly.
Every day.
And also when
All
you
right,
come
y'all.
to a stoplight, make sure you can see the back of the tires and a little piece of road. Like, give people some room.
Okay.
When you're driving. This is just practical life advice.
Be careful if y'all on these streets, because Neen is not playing.
Listen, we finna have ULG driving school really soon. So yeah, I'm very passionate about safe driving. So that's all I got.
Y'all heard it.
To elaborate on what Kayla just said, like I just saw this video of someone getting a tire iron to the driver's side window of their car. I don't know if it was because of tailgating, but road rage is real. So like, be respectful. And like, love yourself responsibly, but like also love other people responsibly, whether you know them or not. Just be a kind human being. That's it. So simple.
I like that.
One of the best lessons my dad ever taught me as a child, which weren't many, but one of the best. It takes $0 to be nice to someone else. Carry that into the week with you.
Thanks for chatting with us. We're gonna put y'all on D&D. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.